Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies Turf Monster Podcast presented by Spendthrift Farm, home of six-time reigning champion sire Into Mischief. Callum, I feel like this is 3 years in a row now that we've had you do this race, and you've done it so well, we had to have you back again.
I am so sorry to all your listeners and viewers who have had to suffer through 3 consecutive years of me trying to dissect the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies turf. I'm pretty sure I remember my first year we went European, that went well. Second year we kind of buried in European, that went terribly. And last year we kind of got a little bit of our justification back. But it's been good fun, and I'm looking forward to doing it all over again.
Well, I think the first question is, at least for me, as someone who absolutely fell in love with Lake Victoria prior to her race, is Precise as good or better?
She's not as good. I mean, Lake Victoria is a monster. She was a monster going into this, and she was a monster coming out of this. I think Precise is a very different sort of horse, has been campaigned very differently. Didn't win her maiden, and then sort of has built on from there. When she won over an island in the matron, she wasn't fancied on that day. Composing her stablemate was fancied. Beautify, who faces her in this race coming up in America, was also fancied, and she went and beat both of them. And coming out of that race, most people's impression was that she's good. She might not be special. Then she went to Newmarket and put up an incredibly impressive display off a rocket fast pace as well. A very truly run race. I think they were 0.33 off the track record. Fastest time that race has ever been won in the Fillies Mile since it's moved from Ascot. Really, really good time all the way through, and a visually very good performance. And that was her stepping up to the mile for the very first time. So I'm hoping that she can continue that for me today. Unfortunately, as a fan of European runners, she is really the best of a pretty below average bunch of Europeans in this race this year. I do think a lot of them are afraid of Precise. Is she a Lake Victoria? No. Could she be good enough to win this race? She very well might be.
Talk a little bit about some of the other ones. You mentioned Beautify. You don't see if a European wins, it sounds like you believe it's going to be Precise, and if it's not her, it's not going to be the others.
Yeah, Beautify dropped back to 6 furlongs last time after failing to get home over 7 furlongs when behind Precise in Ireland, and she ran no race. Stopped as if something was amiss. Look, if she can come back to the same level she showed in Ireland, you'd be a little more interested, but she's stepping up to the mile again. Now, I know the Breeders' Cup mile is not the same as a European mile. It's flat, it's tight, but still, you'd like to know a horse that can get home. The way these races tend to be run is they go off at a rocket fast pace and all fall into a heap at the end. And we've seen that in the last few runnings of this race in particular, apart from when Lake Victoria just grabbed it from the scruff of the neck as she turned in and blew them away. I don't see a horse like Beautify being able to reel those horses back in if they fall into her lap.
Justify comes roaring home. He's just immortal. Justify is the 13th Triple Crown winner. An Arabian Lion claws to the front here. Arabian Lion to win the Grade 1 Woody Stevens. One minute, 21 and 3/5 seconds.
So from your computer screen or your television screen, what do you think about our runners? How do we stack up this year?
I think they're interesting this year. I think that Miss Grillo has been a great source of winners for this race, and ground support, who's got very little experience, did that well. She's a very professional individual. She sort of just gets the job done from the front. She won the Miss Grillo. There was a bit of bumper cars in behind them, and she did get a true run into that race. But I thought that was a very nice performance. So she comes here having won the prep that a lot of previous winners have come out and won. She's certainly got a lot of room to grow. I think Time to Dream is probably the most overbet horse of the entire meeting. I cannot understand why she's short. She's 7-1 second favourite in the UK at the moment, which for me makes absolutely no sense when she was well behind Imagination the Lady, who's 16-1 in the UK, almost double the price, who I thought ran a very similar race, who were both similarly positioned all the way around last time out. And I think was it the Jessamine? I can never remember what you guys name your races nowadays, but it was interesting to see that Imagination the Lady got a very nice trail into the race, and you could see after missing the kick, Time to Dream was tracking her. Imagination the Lady has gone, and Time to Dream hasn't gone with her. Yes, she's picked up, but she's passing horses falling back in front of her. So I wasn't totally blown away with that. I thought Imagination the Lady was certainly an interesting player at that middle of the price, sort of middle of the field sort of bet. And I think she could run well into the places. She's got that style where she's not going to be bang up front all the way through. She's going to pick them up late, and hopefully she'll run a nice race as well. Um, some of the others representing the states. I love Brave Deb. If there was one I could take home, it would be Brave Deb. She's absolutely smashing, big, gorgeous individual. She's done everything from the front so far. She won the Surfer Girl, which is a shocking trial for this race, and she did that from the front. If she tries to do the same thing at Del Mar, it won't work. But I think she's a lovely horse, and she could be one when they turn 3. You want to be on the right side of. And Final Accord, tested in Grade 3 company last time, one with plenty in hand. Another one who I think could run into a place 20-1 for the Mark Case team in the UK prices wise. And I'd be interested to see Final Accord as well. I think Imagination the Lady and Final Accord could run really big races at bigger prices just because their running style would suit how this Breeders' Cup Fillies Juvenile Turf is going to look.
Let's go a little bit further east, if you don't mind, before we get out of here. Talk a little bit about Switch in Love. You're closer to Japan than we are.
Only just, I mean, we'll cling on, but I mean, she's really interesting. Won her debut in good style, not at a big old race meeting. She won a debutant's race on that occasion. She then went and ran last time out in a much tougher contest where she bumped into what could potentially be an absolute monster out there. She did well to finish second on that occasion. She comes straight here. She's from the same connections that have the very nice, oh my goodness, how have I forgotten this horse's name all of a sudden? Oh gosh, what's it called? I've totally forgotten. Who's the horse that finished third in the Breeders' in the Kentucky Derby for the Japanese? In the
Forever
Forever
Young?
Young, won a Saudi Cup. There you go, Forever Young. What a horse! She's from the same stable as Forever Young. I can't believe that just slipped my mind there, but yes, so she's from the same yard as Forever Young. They'll have prepped her for this. This was a target that they made nice and early. She's only had the 2 starts, but we know the Japanese can be so dangerous in these competitions. I do think she bumped into a freak of nature last time out, and I think she might have things a little bit easier here. She's got good gate speed. She's a lovely traveller, and she does quicken for pressure. I think she could be an interesting contender for the Japanese, the only Japanese runner in this race.
I won't hold your feet fully to the fire, Callum, but I will ask you in Ryder Cup fashion. We'll let you take the Japan runner as well. This side of the Atlantic or your side of the Atlantic to win the Juvenile Phillies Turf?
I think it'll be our side of the Atlantic. I really do. I think Precise is a very interesting, exciting filly, even if she's not the level of Lake Victoria. I think she's going to really relish this mile, and she's got a lovely attitude. Head a little bit up in the sky, but she gets it. She gets the job done. She's got plenty of experience. It's interesting the way Aidan O'Brien's campaigning these horses for this race. Now, I mean, Chad Brown's had this race in his back pocket for a long time, and Aiden's certainly trying to steal it away from him. And you feel that they're sending fillies who know what the job is and won't get blown up by the whole pageantry of the event. The Freak Star Friday is always quality, and it's always a big day, and some horses can blow up. I don't think she will. I hope they go off like the clappers with the likes of Brave Deb, Ground Support, all those type of horses, trying to set a really strong pace, and she gets a nice trail into the race. And like Lake Victoria, she can go on and hit the line hard and cross the line in front.